I got the cushion under my ass this time. Welcome back to Finding New Films. This time it is episode 11. Bang. Little scope thing. Okay, not too much of that.
We got like 4 seconds before copyright comes in.
Right. Trevor's back. Emergency podcast. He's got his coffee. Welcome
apparently
back.
I was on call this week.
David is under the weather. We were gonna film this weekend, and he came down with the sickness, and and he couldn't make it. Tried to postpone it a little bit, maybe see if he could get it back, and he couldn't do it still, so
he's never going to be on the show ever again.
Yeah, he banned, never again.
Unless there's nobody else for next week.
I don't work with divas, and that's just the bottom line. So, say goodbye to David. Trevor, the Iron Horse,
I'm just putting everything on my shoulders right now. A lot of other people in my position, they'd feel a ton of pressure, but you know what? Shit happens.
Right.
You gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah.
And just make shit work, you know?
Yeah.
I rose and ground today. Rose and growed.
We want to send all of our, prayers to David.
Sure. You can pray.
Yeah, pray for David.
I'm praying that people keep on watching these videos.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna keep on going. If you can see this, I
can't see it.
What's
it say?
It says Casino Royale. And that was the movie that you picked.
Oh no, man! I didn't watch that shit.
Wait, we watched James.
Oh, we were just doing like a little chit chat.
I thought we were just talking.
This is a podcast about movies.
Where am I?
I listened to the Casino Royale.
Finding New Films.
I listened to the Casino Royale soundtrack. I didn't watch a fucking movie.
I've seen this movie like 10 times.
New. It came out in 2006. What the fuck?
Yo, get with the times, bro. You're way behind. Sheltered ass motherfucker. Wow, but yeah, you picked this movie. Why'd you pick this movie?
I wanted to see people die.
Okay.
And was a little bit disappointed because not that many people died.
Yeah.
But I just had never seen a Bond movie, and I feel like despite having never seen any of those movies, I kind of knew what to expect, and I was totally right.
Yeah, same.
I mean, there was a lot less Bulgarian hate than there is in the novels, but he was James Bond, all right. I mean, props to Daniel Craig. He was that asshole. James Bond is a dick.
Yeah, he's a sexist asshole.
He's just mean
in
general to everybody.
You know, he does Benoit Blanc to make up for all the sexist stuff in James Bond. It's it's genuinely like it's a little weird at points. Yeah.
I've got a whole list of just like
the sexism.
We'll get into it.
I'm documenting.
We'll get into because it's something that when you first brought up the Bechdel test and we watched Clerks, I was like, let me keep an eye out for like how just misogynistic or not these movies that I pick are, and this is probably the worst.
Worse than Psycho.
And for a movie that came out in 1960, you gotta try pretty hard to just be a little bit more in your face with the women. They're barely even people.
It's a little unnerving this movie that it's just like, oh yeah, well the women will be sex pieces, and it's like,
even when I went in expecting that, it was still a bit jarring. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like well done, or at least make her seem like she was making her own choices.
Yeah.
No. She's just kind of dragged around for all the traumatic shit that happened to her.
It's just like, yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the ride. It's like,
I guess I kind of spoiled how this movie would go for myself by having watched Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Because it was literally just like Austin Powers, but not funny. So by that metric, if you are thinking about watching James Bond movies, but you haven't seen any Austin Powers, just go watch Austin Powers.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
Pretty much every way. I mean, the writing is about on par as far as the actual dialogue. It's about as good. I think Austin Powers is a bit more clever.
Genuinely at points, I think it is. It's pretty...
But, hey,
we'll get into that. So I'm just going to go through the credits, and then I'm not reading the plot. We discussed this before the podcast, and I'm not reading the plot.
Yeah, after you go over the cast, I'll break down the plot in about 4 bullet points.
We'll do that. Okay, so runtime on this, 144 minutes, a whopping 2.5 hours.
Way too long.
2 hours, 34 minutes. Writers, the crew of writers on this. I think this is why this movie feels the way it does. This movie is written by 3 people: Neil Purvis, Robert Wade, and Paul Haggis. Don't know how involved the 3 of them were, how much more involved one was than the other, but 3 writers, never really a good formula to begin with.
You know what they say.
3's a crowd.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Just throw a line out there, see if you get a few bites, and hey, I caught a fish.
3's company, right?
3's company. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Directed by Martin Campbell and, scored by David Arnold. Camera done by Phil Mayhew. And then actors. The stars, Daniel Craig and Eva Green. And then the cast is filled out by Judi Dench, Mads Mikkelsen, Simon Abkarian, Katerina Marino, Jesper Christensen, and Giancarlo Giannini. Yeah.
Oh,
that's the credits.
Judi Dench is alive still.
Good for her.
I honestly thought she was dead.
Same. Good for her.
Proud of you, Judy.
Keep on trucking.
I liked her character in this movie.
She was cool.
She was the only person to call out James for anything. Even though at the end of the day, she's kind of like, I
didn't catch Mathis's name, and when they first said Mathis, I was like, that's her name!
Also, I had that exact same bit of confusion, but also that guy, Mathis, with his accent and everything, the last name I would have chosen for him. I mean, it would have been like, Salvatore.
Yeah, like...
or anything else.
Like...
Tony. But just a little
like
bit
Soprano.
Yeah. The Gabagoo.
The Gabagoo.
That would have worked. Like, literally anything slightly exotic would have worked. But just Mathis was kind of weird.
It was pretty weird. It was...
I mean, the dude looked like...
He could have been Demetrios, but the other guy was fucking Demetrios. They made a less important character have a more... The fucking main... Mads Mikkelsen was known as Le Chief, which just means fucking, like, the Matrix. What does it mean?
I don't know. I thought it was a dumb name.
The Cipher. It means the cipher or the digit.
He really... I mean, Mads was great, and I thought his whole look as a villain was cool, because I guess, like, the thing with Bond villains is they've always got some kind of weird deformity or something.
Yeah,
and that's
because they're weirdos.
Because they're always weird. They're always just weird motherfuckers. But, yeah, he cried blood out of one eye, which is pretty cool. I'll give him that. That was pretty badass.
That is pretty cool.
I mean, like, if I was playing poker with a guy, he looked at me, he starts crying blood, I'd be like, alright, I'm folding, I'm just gonna... Deal me out. I'm done, dog.
Yo, what the fuck? Are you good?
Dude, are you alright?
This man's been doing crack.
I mean, what do you even have to do to just bleed out of your eye like
that? He explained it early in the movie. I think his, like, duct was his duct was broken or something like that.
Basically, he cried his fucking eyes out all the time.
Yeah.
Until he just ran him raw, and now it's just blood.
Break down the plot real quick, though.
Okay. So, I'm just gonna assume this is the same for any Bond movie, but Bond's on a mission at the very beginning. He gets in trouble, and he fucked up real bad. So then he's got to go rogue. This is bullet point 2. He's gone rogue, doing shit on his own. And then he gets lucky and actually gets on the trail of the guy that he's tailing. And then, bam, he's thrown into this big high-stakes poker game, Casino Royale. And it's fucking millions of dollars on the line. And they're trying to basically prevent the terrorists from getting the money that he needs to fund other terrorists. Something like that. And then 4, they beat the guy. Then there's a confrontation. The guy dies. And then Bond, with his girl of the movie, run off. And they're going to live happily forever after. He's like, I'm retiring. It's done. And then she betrays him and dies. Wow. And then he's like, well, I'm back in for the next mission. And then that just sets up Quantum Solace or whatever. And that's the next movie. And that's it, pretty much. I mean, that's the synopsis right there. And if you've seen any Austin Powers, again, that is every Austin Powers movie. So I was pretty well equipped to understand, like, oh, I know what's going to happen next. Because after Mads Mikkelsen and their whole confrontation is over, it's like, there's 30 minutes of movie left. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's enough time for him to bang her. Because even though she hated him the whole movie, now she's in love with him. Just in time for her to stab him in the back. Mm-hmm. And then be like, well, actually, it was to save you. And then die.
Yeah,
I'm not buying that shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know how much I care for the last, 45 minutes.
I was really checked out after Mads Mikkelsen got domed.
Yeah.
I was like, that was supposed to be the end for me.
I was like...
Give me a quick wrap-up with Judi Dench, and then let's go.
So, I'm supposed to be... I don't know, man. It's just like, okay, so I guess we fully fleshed out, I guess we haven't even really spent 2 hours with Mads Mikkelsen. We really spent an hour with him. I haven't really fleshed out his character too much. We don't know much about him more than,
all I know is he's pretty good at poker.
He takes money from bad people and he puts it into stocks and he make more money for bad people and that's that is a bad thing. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to overlook that, you know what I mean?
No.
But it's just funny to me in the movie how it's portrayed that this guy's fucking ruthless and it's like he plays poker.
Yeah, honestly, it seems to me like before
you don't see him do anything ruthless until he
before this whole movie he was just a glorified accountant. He was just a shady investment banker. That's all he really was.
He doesn't do anything crazy until the torture scene, really.
Yeah, no, that was okay, he is kind of
and I mean that was pretty demented. That was
sure, you gotta act tough to do his job, but I really just thought it was it was just really funny to me when the realization was oh, he lost all that money because of the Bond shenanigans that he got up to earlier and getting that guy's wife to talk and all that stuff. So he lost all that money shorting stocks and now he owes all these warlords. But it's so his big plan, he didn't have any money stashed away. He didn't he was I'm going to bet all of my money on this scheme going right. It's he just made a huge gamble and fucked up. And he's well, I'm going to make another huge gamble and go play this fucking poker game and possibly waste $15 million more if I lose.
Which, it's the government's money, which would be pretty funny to hear, oh, this agent lost $25 million of the government's money to terrorism.
It was so weird. It's such a weird plot setup.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that these super rich people play high stakes poker games behind the scenes, but why is that this international criminal fundraiser guy? Why is that his best way to get $100 million? Yeah. It was there's no other way for me to do this.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's you're not selling weapons or drugs or anything else.
That would, that was
nope, I put my whole life savings on that fucking short stock and they fucked me over. It's you're not very good at this. Then why is everyone so threatened by you?
This guy couldn't think to be like, oh, well, I mean, I already have dirty money, so why don't I just get into dirty business? And he's just like, well, no.
You can just launder it like in a normal way.
Yeah, I don't know. That first kill was brutal, though.
Yeah, actually, my first thought upon starting the movie, and I was like, "Oh, great! I chose another black and white film." It just keeps on happening.
Yeah, I'm glad that was not the case. To be honest with you, I couldn't do it.
No, that was really sick. I mean, he fucking was strangling him with like his tie and drowning him in the water, and then of course he still wasn't dead, so he fucking shot him, and you get the classic like.
I had the muzzle thing.
Oh, the other cool part about because I guess to become a 00, the thing is you have to kill 2 people. So it's like you're getting a license to kill, but you have to kill people first. So it's like you're encouraging Bond to go rogue at this point. Yeah. But the guy that he kills in the office is like, he's about to say like, well, the second one, is always easier because they were talking about how hard it is to kill a man. And the second one is always, and he's like, much easier, yeah.
It's really easy.
Okay, look, I think if it had been somebody else, he might have had a little bit of a harder time killing a second person, but that guy was being a real asshole.
Like, he doesn't know how long Bond has even been in his office. Is you really think Bond didn't think to check his, like, right-hand drawer for gun?
Anything.
He was like, oh my god, a gun!
Oh,
I didn't know you had a gun.
Expected this double agent that has a gun hidden
in his right-hand drawer that's unlocked. Yeah, that was awesome.
I liked that stylized like intro sequence.
Yeah,
it went on too long.
Yeah,
like everything else in this movie, but it was really cool. I liked the style. It was all based on like, playing card art. Like I thought that was really neat.
It reminded me of the old iPod commercial. Very like all those silhouettes. I thought it was very colorful. Yeah, where people were dancing. Yeah, it looks like it was just. It reminded me of Just Dance. That was awesome. I did like it. The song though, oh my god, that original song by Chris Cornell, horrid.
Yeah,
it was so bad. It was so bad.
Was it amazing?
Oh my god.
Also,
I was like, oh my god, please end.
I think it was right as the intro ended and it went back to like real life and they zoomed in on Daniel Craig. Didn't his eyes look like unnaturally blue?
His eyes this whole movie looked crazy blue.
I don't think his eyes generally look like that. I think they legit edited it. They played with that a little bit.
I mean, I've seen Knives Out and Glass Onion, and his eyes are not that.
He looks like a fucking White Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked like
an ice zombie.
He looked like he had white eyes. Like it was
like, yo,
crazy.
Is that a fucking lich? Yo, I think that's a necromancer that's risen from the dead.
It was really cool to see Mads Mikkelsen as a bad guy. He's out of his character for him. So out of character. Thing.
Well, right off the bat, I noticed he's in Uganda. He's investing in a warlord, and there's children all around with AK-47s. It's like, this motherfucker knew about Coney? About 6 years before Joseph Coney, he knew about this motherfucker? They could have got his ass. I mean, it was clearly based on fucking Coney.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, people knew. They just didn't want you to know.
Yeah, they framed that Coney 2012 guy masturbating in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, he didn't do it. It was actually all Coney.
Justice for Coney 2012 guy. That was a joke.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck him. I hope he rots in prison, and he's probably out. It was just indecent exposure. He was probably like a 20, I don't know. He probably didn't even go to prison.
Hey, he got some decent exposure.
Hey, come on now.
And then after that, where do we go next? Madagascar?
Yeah.
That's where that's where I loved that it was like a mongoose and a snake fighting in a pit, and it's like they're all betting on it, and like, what? Mongooses or mongoose, I mean, are specifically the one thing I know about mongooses is that they kill and eat snakes like on the reg. Like that's like their main source of food. So I don't know if the people of Madagascar were unaware or if the directors were unaware when they made this movie, but like I would bet on the mongoose every fucking time. The snake is not going to win.
And it is a fight. It is like a 7 times out of 10 the mongoose wins.
Like all I'm saying is if you
oh no!
Look, if you grew up watching Animal Planet, you know that a mongoose beats snake, tiger beats anything. You know, it's just simple rules. Yeah. They could have done the slightest bit of research.
You're probably right.
I mean, come on. Who's gonna bet on that? Anyway. I love there's this guy who's working with Bond for all of 2 seconds, and he majorly fucked up the operation. Get your fucking hand off your ear. It's like, why would he even have his hand on his ear in the first place? That's not how they work. You're wired in the whole time.
That was killing me. Oh my god. He was like, what? What are you talking about? And he was like, I need him alive. And he was just
keep a low profile. What?
What did you say, person?
You said the guy with the burn mark on his face, right? That one over there? And he's like looking at Bond. That one over there?
He's in Madagascar.
It's like, look, you're already a white dude in Madagascar.
Yeah, he's a white dude in Madagascar. Just being like, that guy over there, that one. Just pointing everything. I just touched my mic. But he's like pointing at everything. It's just like, bruh, what the fuck are you doing?
Hey, dude, I bet on the snake this round. What do you think my chances are? I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Is this a spy? Did they just bring a guy from the London PD? Like, what is going on?
It's just Judi Dench's nephew.
He's like, oh, just treat him. Just be soft on him because he's not there fully.
He's a good kid.
He's good. He's got a good heart.
He's good. And then immediately it turns into a pretty cool chase. I feel like it was super convoluted.
Why did that bulldozer have bulletproof glass?
It is Madagascar, I guess. I don't know if that's like anything like
that would make me
Uganda
think there's
or Somalia.
Less of a chance, though.
It was also weird how he's like looking around. He's like, well, I was keeping up with this guy pretty good on foot, but I decided to just stop and stare at him running for a few seconds and let him get away. And then I was like, oh, this fucking bulldozer. And it's like, yeah, fuck this developing country's new construction. I'm going to just tank it.
Bro,
it's probably the only big bulldozer they have in that city. And he's like, I'm going to destroy this. I'm going to destroy all these projects they're working on in the name of getting this guy.
That one guy fell off the scaffolding.
He wasn't doing anything.
And then the bomb fell on top of him. He exploded. He was dead. He's dead.
He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just there.
He got in front of the guy that the Bond was chasing to like be like, hey man, stop.
Like you're on a construction site. It's dangerous here. Like no one's supposed to be here.
He got pushed down like eight stories, and then he gets a bomb thrown on top of.
And he was already about to be crippled for the rest of his life.
At least he died an easy death, and he didn't have to suffer. But God,
there was no reason for it.
What did he do?
He didn't do anything wrong.
Poor guy, man.
Oh, I loved when they were up on the crane, which like this guy is so desperate to get away. He's like, I'm gonna crawl up on this fucking crane. Like, couldn't assume that he's got any parkour or like acrobatic experience. He's like, I'm crawling all the way up this thing, I'm jumping onto the next one, and I'm jumping onto this building, and I'm getting on the fucking ground.
I loved that they like differentiated the athleticism.
Yes, I wrote that down. This guy's parkouring through gaps and like walls and jumping through windows and shit, and Bond is blasting through the fucking drywall with his shoulder, just like.
Yeah, the guy like does like a side. He does like jumps off the wall like with one foot and goes down one story. And Bond just finds a hole in the floor and slides into it.
My favorite one, besides Bond busting through a fucking wall, like it was nothing, like he was like a Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, I love how they made that stunt guy do that crazy ass stunt to like get through that tiny little piece of the wall, and then
they're like, okay, Daniel, you're just gonna blast.
Yeah, we just want you to blast through the drywall.
It's just paper mache. But besides that one was the one where the dude, the bomb maker, is sprinting, and then he like jumps through like a burned out like empty car, and then Bond just runs around the car.
That was I laughed so hard when
he just runs around it.
When they couldn't have cut to like just be like, oh, I'm still chasing him. Like that was great.
Reminded me of the chase scene in the Obi-Wan show. In that first episode.
Yeah.
But also a great callback to I need this guy alive. The first thing Bond says to his partner, and then after blowing up an embassy, fucking killing a bunch of dudes, just like saying fuck diplomatic immunity, lethal weapon ain't got shit on me. He fucking has the guy and he just fucking blasts him away. Like, fuck it.
He pushes him back, shoots him, and then blows up a bomb.
He does what that guy was gonna do. He just did it. Bond is an international terrorist.
And then through the course of that, he fucking okay, so he shoots the fucking propane tank, right? Then he all those people fall down, right? They're like dead, supposedly. Then a few of them like stand up like they're okay. And then it cuts over to where Bond is supposed to be, and he's not there. And the doors are like open now because like he's made it feel like the doors have blown open.
Right.
But all these people aren't dead. But this explosion is big enough to blow the... It didn't make a lot of sense.
Hey, they just got scared and they fell over. And they laid there for a second. You know, they were scared.
They just didn't know what hit them.
I was totally expecting, like, just him going rogue and, like, fucking shit up for no reason. Wasn't going to be addressed. Because I was like, well, that's just kind of what spies do, right? But actually, it seemed like for a minute there, like, there were going to be some real consequences for what he did. And they were like, I just go to the Bahamas for a few days. Shame on thee. Go on a nice tropical vacation and fuck some married women. And that's what he does.
What? Am I a bad guy?
Am I a bad guy? Like, there's this whole thing about how, like, he's like, well, I took out there's one less bomb maker in the world. It's like, yeah, but he would have given up information for us to fucking stop the production of bombs in general. And he's like, yeah, well, I still think I did the right thing.
Bitch is dead.
I mean, like, when he knows he's in trouble with his boss, instead of, like, reporting and being like, I'm so sorry, it's got out of hand, blah, blah, he breaks into her house and just waits for her.
And just, like
so
threatens her.
It's like, dude, like, for all she knows, you brought to fucking murder her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of great. It's kind of amazing that she's just like, aw, you.
Dench had a great line where she said, Christ, I missed the Cold War. I thought that was pretty great.
You know, don't we all?
Right? We're about to be in one. This plane that got shot out.
This Cold War is heating up.
Yeah, this Cold War is heating up quickly. I think we are about to hit a break. If I'm reading that correctly. I'm trying to read the camera. I'm not staring directly at
I'm just going to say this movie called it.
Y'all.
And James Bond was implanted with a government tracking chip in his arm. So, like, you know...
That's where we're headed, America.
They predicted the 5G.
Get ready. That's where we're headed.
I hope my chip is
sour cream and onion.
I'm becoming more of a sour cream and cheddar guy lately.
Just like my mother.
Sorry?
I didn't say anything. That was just a big observation. But anyway, we'll see. What?
It just feels like you're taking a dig at me. That's all, dude.
No digs were taken. We're gonna be back right after the break. I'm gonna grab another beer and we're gonna talk about the absurdity of this movie.
Yeah, there's a bit more to cover.
Yeah. Alrighty. See you. lot of money right now. This is costing me a lot of money right now. This podcast has costed me too damn much money.
Hey man, that's costed me my fucking Thursday night. My prized Thursday night.
This podcast has costed me my fucking sanity.
So, I mean, at this point, we've pretty much covered the whole intro.
Yeah.
And, like, what's the setup for the movie. And then we can kind of just bullet point the whole middle part.
I love the whole 00. I love all that spy tech in the movie. It's so absurd.
The car was fucking cool.
It's so absurd.
Aston Martin.
Yeah.
That car was badass.
Yeah.
It was a badass car. What was it? Did he ever even use, like, any of his fucking guns?
I don't know.
Like, besides the very beginning, did he ever even shoot anybody with the Walther PPK? Like, that's, like, the Bond gun. I don't even know if he shot anybody with it. He pulled it out a bunch. But, like, when they fought the two guys at the hotel, he didn't use it.
Yeah.
Then I can't honestly remember him fighting anybody else until the very end of the fucking movie. Yeah, so from here on out, it was just very boring. I mean, the scenes with Mads Mikkelsen were cool.
Yeah.
I hated every second of dialogue between, what's it, Eva Green, yeah. I hated every second of dialogue between her and Daniel Craig. I hated all of it.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Because even though he looked much younger in 2006 than he does now, he was still pretty old looking compared to Eva Green.
Yeah.
And he would just talk to her like an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're an orphan, I bet.
She's like, I bet you are. And he's like...
yeah, he's like...
This bitch.
He did call her a bitch later.
Yeah.
And a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Which, I mean...
He's like, you know, the best cover for me possible is if we just make out a lot. That'll be a great cover. I was like, okay, I guess. And then he just immediately gets to the hotel. I was like, my name's actually James Bond. World's greatest secret agent.
Yeah,
I work for MI6, you know? British Secret Service.
Actually just got started. I'm a newly promoted 00. It's like, brother, calm down. I have notes that say, wow, what a nice Ford Fusion trademark. And, oh, wow, he's navigating his GPS on his Sony trademark cell phone.
Oh, yeah, and his Sony Vaio laptop.
Oh, and then the guy tosses him the keys to that Range Rover trademark.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It wasn't... I only really noticed the Sony stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some pretty blatant product placement here.
I love the girl riding on the white stallion. Just for no reason. Like, why does she have a horse?
Just, you know, horsing around.
But yeah, that was awesome. There was also a shot that was really, really, really cool of, I think it was Mads Mikkelsen's, like, girlfriend getting out of the water. It was really pretty. Yeah, that shot on the water with the sunset. That was pretty as hell.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Once we got to the actual poker playing part of the movie, I was like, kind of wish I knew how to play poker right about now. So I don't really know.
I had that in my notes. I said, like, not liking poker makes this movie kind of insufferable.
Yeah, like I really... It's like, I've played a lot of poker, and I bet irresponsibly, and like they even say in the movie, it's totally luck. And it's like, well, then how come this guy's so fucking good at it?
Yeah.
It's like, if it's just straight up luck, then he's still winning, though. But like, wouldn't you have to fold a lot if you knew you weren't gonna win the hand? I don't fucking get it. Poker's dumb. Yeah. Gambling is stupid. Call a fucking helpline if you gamble consistently, because you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should go to an institution.
Let's talk about how he talks to this guy. What is the guy's name? I think it's Demetrios, right? The first guy that he connects.
Oh, that he tracks down. Yeah.
To Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how he won this dude's fucking Aston Martin in a poker game. Then he steals his girl on the way out by honestly, again, being an ass, just being a complete asshole. Then he learns through his girl that he's going to the museum. So he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to the museum then. Goes to the museum, kills him, leaves his body in the museum. He just killed him and left him in public. He's just dead. In a public, like, and it was so obvious that they were fighting.
It was like, interrogate him.
It was what? Like, yeah, interrogate. I'm gonna murder him and leave him there.
Same problem as before. He's gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah, I don't.
Dude got cucked and then he got capped. It's just like, damn, dog.
Not only that, he got embarrassed at the table. Then he got cucked. Then he got capped. And then his, like, corpse was, like, desecrated. No, that was just the most insanely disrespectful thing.
And then his wife was killed anyway.
And I'm supposed... And 007's the protagonist of this movie.
Yeah, he's the driving force for good.
Like... yeah. And then she got fucking mutilated.
She got fucked up.
He died and got fucking cocooned in a fucking fucking hammock.
Yeah, no, she got murked pretty hard. That was actually like, I felt bad because she didn't fucking really do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then from there it's just they're at the Casino Royale. And
there's that one gas truck scene where he has to stop.
Oh yeah, he stops the guy from bombing the gas truck.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that scene turned me off a lot. It was way too long. It was over edited.
The stakes didn't feel very high to me.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, that's what screwed over Mads Mikkelsen and set up the poker game, like to where he would have to play in it in the first place. But I mean, and it's not that
I didn't need all of the scenes at the hotel to set up what that was. They could have just led into that.
They did a bad job of making that all feel connected and like, you know, this event leads to this event leads to this event.
They should have started the movie.
It just felt like a bunch of random shit happening.
Yeah, I think maybe it would have felt better if it was like the movie started with him at the hotel.
Yeah.
And winning the, like, stuff, and you, like, see he's, like, a debonair, and then you see that he's, like, he's actually just starting off.
Right.
And then it, like, goes into the whole story of, like, Mikkelsen and all that, but it just felt so jumbled.
Yeah, it feels like if they had just decided to focus on Mikkelsen more from the beginning of the movie, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, because his character seemed pretty damn interesting compared to the cuck and the guy who was trying to bomb a plane.
Yeah.
It was just kind of
Yeah, I mean, those guys don't really have characters at all. I mean, they were just like...
They were just bad guys.
They're just running away. Generic bad guy running.
I did like that Bond planted the bomb on that guy.
Yeah, that was
before he jumped out of the truck. Like, what was this?
I also loved that they were entrusting a... what are those things called? the little thingies, carabiner. He was trusting a carabiner to hold a tiny little bomb that was supposed to explode an entire jet. And the bomb, I mean, it probably would have because of gasoline, but like the fucking thing was like maybe 3 inches big. I don't know, maybe it just looked smaller on camera, but still, it was funny that was like the driving. That was the big bomb they were all afraid of. It was this tiny little.
I like that they all the police tackled him and fucking cuffed him and shit like immediately instead of him just like jumping out of the car and be like, "Here's my badge. This is all sanctioned. All right," and just piecing out. Like they were like, "Whoa, dude."
I didn't love. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. They weren't just like, "He's a spy."
But, like, well, he's wearing a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what spies wear.
I have this note about the first conversation between Eva Green's character and James Bond. The conversation they have on the train. That feels like a conversation about smart people written by someone that's dumber than the people being betrayed.
Yeah, my line for that was like, wow, these characters are so good at reading people.
Yeah, that.
Like, that's supposed to tell me a lot about them, other than they just make a lot of assumptions about people based off of their first meeting. They're both insufferable, I think. I wouldn't want to hang out with either of these people in a casual setting. Not least of which because I'd probably fucking get murdered. But yeah, they're pretty lame.
Cops. At the end of the day,
and they are cops, so fuck them.
Enjoyed the scene where he helped her cope after he murdered someone right in front of her.
Okay, I just thought it was really dumb that like she watched the guy die. Like, well, you could have left. You could have turned around. No, I'm kidding. You could have just closed your fucking eyes. Why'd you look him in the eyes? Why'd you look him in the eyes as he got choked out? No,
she did watch the life leave his body.
She liked it. Yeah. But no, her coping method was try to drink wine, break glass. I'm gonna go sit in a cold shower.
And his thing was, I'm gonna go give her a hug. I'm gonna give you a hug. Suck on your
I was like, what the fuck? Like, here.
And he goes, are you cold? She goes, yeah. And
rather than cuddle you in the shower, turn the water off.
Rather than turn the water off, he turned on the hot water.
Here, unzips.
Oh no. This is called a yellow shower.
I just love that her trauma response is just weird, in my opinion. I'm gonna sit in this cold ass shower, fully clothed, and just be like, okay, if I was traumatized, I'd be taking.
Maybe if she maybe if it was her and she accidentally killed the guy, or
it's not like she was
forced into.
You watched a guy die.
If she was forced into having to kill the guy because she was gonna die otherwise.
The agency you work for, you know what people are doing. You know
what they do.
And it's like you were like, I'm gonna go on this mission to make sure.
I'm gonna go on this mission with a 007 agent from MI6, and I hope I don't see someone die. Like, bro.
But she has such a weird ass trauma response, and then his response to that is like, "Well, I'm gonna try and suck on her fingers." She likes that. What the fuck, dude?
He sucks on her fingers, and he goes, "Is that better?" She goes, "Mm-hmm."
And then
like, bruh, what?
You know, they kill those two guys who were threatening Mads, and they go back to playing fucking poker, and it's pretty boring, you know, high stakes obviously, but like, you know, he's gonna win the poker game eventually, because obviously if he loses, it's all, the jig is up.
Right.
So he ends up winning the poker game by not calling the bluff, but just having the best possible hand in the game.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Again, blind luck.
I really enjoyed actually when he lost the first time, and he was like, and he was just froze at the table. Like, everybody got up and he was just sat. Just, oh my god. He was just like, I can't, but it was like in an anime when they're fighting and like a guy dodges and he goes,
You were like, and like he dodges the attack. He's like, I'm too fast for him. And the other guy just like materializes behind him. Like, nothing personnel, kid. No need.
It's yeah.
It was a bit like that.
It was a bit like that.
I thought there was gonna be more to it with like the CIA guy who showed up. Was like, hey, brother.
Yeah, I love Jeffrey Wright.
I thought there was gonna be more to him, but he kind of was just like, I'm gonna get the guy, and then like I guess he died.
Yeah, I love that they write Jeffrey Wright to be saying brother a lot.
He said brother a lot.
Like every single time he was on the
12 lines that guy had, he said brother in probably 8 or 9 of them. He just kept calling everybody.
Listen, brother. Hey, brother. The last thing we could care about is money, brother. It's like, guys, why don't you try a little harder on that one?
So Bond wins. He's got all the money. Those chips, those like big fat chips, like the million amounts, those looked cool.
I did like those. Those were awesome.
It was like a really nice futuristic candy bar.
I love how he poisons him mid-game.
Oh yeah.
And then he just comes back like a fucking zombie.
That was pretty badass. To just be like, I'm back. And just like, whoa. But I just thought you couldn't just go and like not play and not lose any money.
I love how headquarters is like, all right, go get yourself to the hospital. And he's like, well, I gotta go win this game of poker.
I know.
Is this guy gonna be terrorist?
It's actually I was kind of surprised, but I was like, wow, this government knows they've got a lot of money and like time invested, like running on this, but they're like, you should go to a hospital though. Like they care about their employees.
Well, that's good to see.
You know, if the CIA agent got fucking poisoned, they'd just be like, well, don't die.
Do better.
Like, well, look, we can airlift you back here to the hospital, and it'll be about $5,000 for a defibrillator.
But they had it neatly stacked in his custom Aston Martin trademark.
That cool ass glove box.
That was pretty
It's
cool.
had all that cool stuff in it. And one of those
I think that's an homage to the old one.
Yeah,
that was like the one that he won early.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So they kidnap Eva.
I want to say one more thing about the poker games.
Right.
His little twitch with the poker chip was really cool. I thought it was a nice touch in the score to have it just like whenever there was a quiet moment. I thought that was nice.
I thought it was kind of weird that there's no other like background or characterization of the other people playing poker.
Yeah.
Because like they got to be just as interesting or just as shady. Because like where you just like I'm gonna throw $10 million in the pot on this and play. It's like who the fuck are these people?
Right.
How do they get this money? Why do they have this money? Why are they playing? Like, what do they gain from this?
Yeah.
Because we know what Bond has to gain. We know what Mads has to gain. These other people just like think they're gonna win. I don't know. I would never. Like.
Yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense.
Doesn't make any sense. And I thought there'd be like some like kind of like, you know, drama. Like, oh, this guy like there's like no rules at the fucking hotel. So like I thought that like the other players can try and kill each other or sabotage. I'm like, oh, only Bond got poisoned. Like, why not poison everybody else at the table who's just as big a threat?
If they're gonna make the movie like Casino Royale, yeah, I agree with you. If they're gonna make the movie Casino Royale, you know, like why not like make intricate characters for all these casino players and like play that into it, like how did you see the Marvel? Because I mean, like this movie is in the vein of like Marvel action movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this universe. It's like, did you see Werewolf by Night?
I did not.
Okay, so like in Werewolf by Night, basically they just have all these like hunters and huntresses that like kill monsters from all over the universe, just not universe, but like all over the earth, just come and they are trying to kill what is not the Swamp Thing, that's DC, but the Swamp Thing in Marvel.
The Swamp Guy.
It's basically the Swamp Thing, but it's Marvel's version. I don't remember what his name is, but nevertheless, they're trying to kill him the whole time, but they go in depth in the very beginning. Not in depth too much, but like they give an even inkling of who all these people are, rather than Bond, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's this guy, he's from Japan, this guy's black, and like the black guy had no lines, like Jeffrey Wright did, the CIA agent, but the big black guy, he literally put in a bet and put up how much he bet. He put in $5 million, and he just goes. He put a 5 up. I mean, maybe he's deaf, and they're just like maybe I'm misinterpreting like representation.
At this point, it's probably worth pointing out this movie did not pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah,
I don't think two women talk to each other at all in the whole movie.
I don't really see it as an expectation for this, you know, but nevertheless, it's still kind of like
it failed pretty horribly.
Yeah, it felt it was a little unsettling.
It was a little unsettling. I mean, it was like that Family Guy bit, Sean Connery, James Bond, like 50 no's and 1 yes means yes.
Yeah, it did kind of reign true for this.
Yeah. Most of what you get in between the actual poker scenes is just Eva Green shitting on Bond and Bond being like negging her and coming on to her. It's like being an asshole. He's just the classic martini, fucking shaken, not stirred, or whatever the fuck. Stupid bullshit.
I liked how he I liked how he asked for a dry martini that one time, and the guy asked him shaken not stirred, and he says, "I give a fuck."
He was pissed. He was pissed at that moment.
That was pretty funny, honestly.
But yeah,
I liked when they kidnap what's her face. They kidnap Eva Green's character.
Just drop her in the road.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I honestly thought that was intelligent, like an intelligent form of writing, of being like, well, we know this fucker's coming after us. Like, we just know.
Right.
And so they just put her in the road, and he, like, he almost dies. I'm surprised he didn't die. That roll cage in that Aston Martin is crazy.
They're not known for...
That was a nice-ass roll cage in that Aston Martin.
I guess it is a spy car, but yeah, I did think it was kind of weird that, like, he didn't seem like he was that far behind them in their car, so they'd have time to pull over real quick, throw her out on the road, and then, like, go hide.
Yeah, you could see him catching up with them, and he was in an Aston Martin. Yeah. It's another just point of this movie where I'm just like, logistically, I'm like,
that doesn't make a ton of sense.
Just like, guys,
it was kind of a neat way to get
could
him to
we at
fuck himself
least
over,
try?
Right, and so then we're getting closer and closer to the torture scene, and it's revealed that Mathis basically sold them out, and was like helping fucking the chief the whole time. And it's like, I wrote, never trust a non-Anglo in the Bond universe. Because while he was a white man, he did have an accent that wasn't an expressly British, Scottish, or American one. So he's got to be bad.
Yeah.
If you're Eastern, Southern European, Russian, if you're from Africa, Asia, Latin America, you're a bad guy in the Bond universe. I don't think there's been a good one.
UK or America, you're good.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Ireland, fuck off. Definitely don't be Bulgarian.
Yeah, definitely not. I liked when they tased him, and he was like, he didn't even have time to react to it. He was just like standing there, and he just walked up and he just like pop. He's like, ah! God damn it. But, it was, I thought that was funny. I just thought that was super rich that, like, they had him just come in, or they go in there and they just like, he's just not even reacting to them at all. They're like, hey, we're here to take you away. And then he's just like, huh? And they just tase him, and he's like, ah! and then they take him away. Even that, I thought that was funny as hell, honestly. But yeah, and then we'll just get to the torture scene.
I liked the cock and ball torture. It was actually probably the funniest part of the movie. I was like, they had to have taken some inspiration from Austin Powers here. It's like, oh yes, the left. They're like, they're right.
It was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Like, the first one, you're like, no, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like, it took me a second to realize what was about to happen.
He's completely naked, and there's like a...
And then I was like, why did he take the part out of his chair? And then, yeah. And then it comes to you, and then you're like, ooh. That first one, I was like...
See, I actually was like, this scene is super familiar to me.
Wait, what?
There is some parody movie. I don't know if it's a scary movie, like Scary Movie 4, or like disaster movie, or one of like epic movie or something like that. But the shitty parody movies, that, like there's a bunch of them in like the late 2000s.
Yeah.
One of those directly copied that scene.
Okay.
Like, I forget what, but it was like that same context, but in that film, you got to see the balls being hit.
And they were just like bonking around.
Yeah.
Like boing,
big old prosthetic nuts.
Nice.
It's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
But yeah, during the cock and ball torture, I guess the guys who work with Mickelson were like, they just showed up right on time and fucking blast him away. And we talked about this before we started recording, but like that was probably the most disappointing part of the movie. Was like, I kind of thought that Bond, like, while in the most hopeless possible situation, would just like either through luck or like his smarts, like get out of his trap and then like quickly kill the bad guy or arrest him or what have you. But it just kind of got bailed out again, pure luck still, but like he didn't even have to do anything. He just got bailed out completely. He didn't even have to go save um, Vesper. He just woke up in the hospital. Like, cool.
Yeah.
That worked out, huh? Like,
I didn't really understand that.
I didn't like that. Like, yeah, okay, like we already saw earlier in the movie that these people are willing to come and kill Mads, but like he was just about to get the money.
Right.
He was literally about to get it, and they're like, "No, you're just gonna die. We don't want the fucking money." Because they didn't like take Bond and Vesper and be like, well, I guess the guys who took Vesper at the end of the movie was those the same guys who showed up and saved them. Like, why did you make it so long and convoluted? Just take this shit. Like, it was there with them. Just take it.
It was
like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It didn't make any sense. This movie had the longest fucking epilogue ever.
It's like, yeah, they bang because
they introduced this guy with like eye patch glasses, and by the end of the movie he's fucking dead. Like, you're meeting people that are supposed to be important like 30 minutes with 30 minutes left in the movie, and then like they are expecting you to be like sad by this like romantic relationship that's brewed, and it's like,
I hate this couple.
I don't like them.
I don't like either of these people.
Yeah, they're both bad people.
Though she did have a horrible death.
Yeah,
drowning
that was pretty.
Seems fucking terrifying.
She did it to herself though, so I can't
she
really
did
feel
kind
that
of
bad.
choose to drown.
And I have all this over $120 million. That's not he did that like amount of damage when he was in Africa alone. You know what I mean? Like when he destroyed that whole
it's just
construction, it
not
was
worth it.
Yeah, this movie is.
What I gathered was like, so I guess the guys and there's like, they didn't kill Bond and her because they're like, you'll get the money,
right?
And then she was like, okay, I'll do it. When they could have just taken it. Or whatever, like because
like if they if they were so like, did she like her? And she was like so in love with her boyfriend that she would rather just die. Like, could they have not just taken the money, like,
and let them go?
And could they have not just like gone off the radar and just stolen them $120 million?
I thought that's what they were planning.
That's what I thought they did.
That's what I thought they were gonna do.
And it didn't make any sense to me, if I'm being honest with you.
But yeah, Bond's like, well, she was a stupid bitch.
And the explanation at the end with Judi Dench and him, it just didn't make any sense either. He's like, oh, she was protecting you, and da 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 da. It's like, why does she care? She hated him the whole time.
James Bond is James Bond. I think he's perfectly capable of fighting. I mean, he went and killed those guys no problem by himself. I'm pretty sure if they had come for him first, he could have easily defended himself.
Yeah, I think he would have been alright.
She didn't really have to do all that. I mean, she watched him kill dudes, so it's not like she had any reason to believe that it would be bad if she didn't, just run off with the money.
I haven't noticed that she would rather die than take responsibility for her actions.
If this whole arrangement was made while he was passed out and like in the hospital and stuff, or like before they took him back, she could have just told him as soon as they were together again, like, "Hey, here's this problem. We should probably go back to London or whatever and like be protected." Instead, she's just gonna hide it from him and then go hand out the money and let her. Because like, if she didn't drown in that elevator, wouldn't she have just had to like live with those fucking terrorists or whatever? Like, where was she gonna go?
Yeah,
what was the plan? No like, I don't know. I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense.
But yeah,
I think that's all we need to say.
You might be able to tell. Didn't really love this movie.
Yeah, this one might.
I thought the action
might overtake Airplane.
I thought the action was gonna, make up for all the what I had already assumed would be shitty dialogue and stuff, but it didn't really because there wasn't a lot of action.
We'll talk about it in the themes a little bit, but we're gonna take a quick break. The list will be up when we get back, and we're gonna rate this movie. We're gonna throw it on the list, and we are gonna get the fuck out of here with this movie. So, stick around for that. Thank you. Boom. Fuck.
Okay, guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's totally a bit. We planned that. There's an invisible string that I've been pulling It's totally not an unprofessional accident that's happened 4 times so far.
3.
Well, yeah. Was it only 3?
3. It's been 3.
Well, I'll pull the string one more time, probably before it's over.
Bro, you better pull it.
Sorry, I'm looking at memes.
You pulling the string on me, god damn it. I said the list was going to be up, and I'm a goddamn liar.
You fucking lied.
And it is up.
Just like you lied to the fans and said David was going to be on this week.
David lied to me. I can't,
I'm not getting paid for this shit either. Like, it'd be cool if we watched a good movie this time.
Hey, this is your pick, man.
Hey,
don't blame anybody but you.
I kind of felt pressured into it. I felt like Vesper. I felt like I had no other choice.
You said action, and I was like, cool, we're going to watch like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie.
Fuck no. Give me a little bit more credit than that. You know what? Let's watch Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, we're going to watch. Yeah, I've already seen Tooth Fairy, motherfucker.
Have you seen the Larry the Cable Guy one?
No, I don't think so.
It's pretty fucking good.
It's pretty. That sounds pretty fucking good.
It's great.
Have you ever seen? Are you talking about the one where he's the health inspector?
No, I'm talking about the one where it's literally the Tooth Fairy movie, but Larry the Cable Guy instead of.
So they're just pushing conservative values instead.
I guess.
I think I'd like that a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna rate the movie and put it on the list. We were talking about it before we got up here. This movie kind of has 2 ratings for me. This movie has the rating, if I push all of the thoughts out of my mind, like all of the thoughts of like, I don't know, like, what is it, reality, or, any form of, intricate storytelling. If I look at this movie like a Marvel movie, this movie's probably like 8.5 for me. If I look at this movie, how I've looked through how I've looked at all of these movies through the scope, this movie's like a 6.
Yeah, I'm not far off there.
That's just what I'm giving it.
Like
and
as a Bond movie, as like an action movie, through the lens of a middle-aged white guy in 2006, it's probably a 9. But through the lens of
my god, when that Chris Cornell song came on, they were just like, oh my god, Cornell and Bond,
creaming their jeans,
creaming their Wranglers.
But I would have to give as a real world rating, I'd give it about a 6.5.
Creaming their Lees, and it's official.
That's the best I can do.
It's the lowest. I'm sorry, dog.
Sorry, Daniel Craig.
I'm sorry, dog. It's just not working out for us.
Should have had more Judi Dench.
I'm sorry, player. You're not going to Hollywood.
That's abysmal.
It's 12.5. I mean, if you can't even beat Airplane, I mean...
Where are you at, dog? Where are you at?
You guys kind of need to just reevaluate.
And you know what?
Reevaluate what's important.
Normally I'd have some caveats like, well, it's just my rating of the movie. If you liked it a lot, that's cool. I wouldn't say that you're wrong. I think if you genuinely love this movie...
Yeah, like love it.
We probably haven't talked, but also don't talk to me.
Just gonna break the news to you. Zach did tell me he loved this movie earlier.
And that's why he won't be back on the show.
Everybody's getting banned from the show.
Hey, look.
Trevor's buying a minority stake in the show.
I'm fighting for my rights. I'll buy new mics. And I'll be like, no one can buy
standing mics.
No one can use these super nice mics with the pop filters except for me and Hunter. So whenever anybody else is on the podcast, you gotta use these. Sorry.
For mine, I'm gonna have like the big arm with the.
Yeah, I'm gonna monopolize the equipment. That's how I'll get in.
That's pretty smart, honestly.
Well, it's like Jeopardy. You gotta find a new host. And it's like, I'm Ken Jennings. Obviously, the one that everybody wants.
Yeah.
Come at me, everybody else who's hosted.
Damn.
You won't say it to my fucking face.
Damn.
Amen. just want to shout out to the loyal fans. I'm sure there's a ton of you, literally dozens.
My mom and dad.
I'm sure there's dozens of people who have made it this far in the podcast. Thanks for making my most recent episode.
I wonder how many people who watch the podcast actually know that there's a list at the end.
I mean, I just wonder, like, because I don't even think I know, like, the most recent one that I was on, well, the most recent one for Psycho, they just hit 90 views, baby. And I don't think I could even name, like, 90 people that I know. So, like, I don't know if you're watching this and you're just like, oh, this is Trevor. I'm sorry, but I probably don't remember you.
I mean,
none of my family watches this.
And we got a nice compliment.
My girlfriend doesn't watch it.
We got a nice compliment from someone on our Apocalypse Now video that I had no idea who they were. And they like referenced having seen Apocalypse Now in theaters in 1979, and I was
like, shit, man, whoever you are, I hope you're still watching.
Yeah, Sam, you're.
I really appreciate the people who take the time to listen or watch.
Yeah. And that tells me like I mean, I don't know. I guess
I
don't know what the theater rules were, but I mean, if they were anything like ours, if you're 18 and had been to watch Apocalypse Now, it means this guy was like at least born in 1961.
You know,
so it's really interesting to me that our podcast has reached someone in that age demographic. But
I'm more interested in reaching that audience than, I guess, the TikTok kids.
I don't think because they don't know what real entertainment is.
I feel like most podcasts and YouTube shows skew towards younger people. Yeah. And we're skewing in like a totally opposite direction just because we've barely watched any movies that came out after 2000.
Yeah, I mean, we've already hit 7 decades. It's pretty crazy.
Pretty freaking cool. I mean,
I did offer someone recently to watch Rebel with a Cause from 1955, so we almost hit 8. I don't know that we'll ever watch like a 20s or 30s or 40s movie.
Yeah.
Maybe a 40s movie. Maybe...
It's just that those movies will never get their
seen a movie from the 50s.
The full credit they're due from us just because of like the context is so different for us as 20-somethings.
I mean, it kind of goes back to like Psycho, or it's kind of like
a lot of the notes that probably would have hit with an older audience just didn't really hit.
We have seen a movie from the 50s, 12 Angry Men.
I like 12 Angry Men, I will say.
1957.
That was a very good film.
I liked that movie. But I feel like that was a very straightforward movie, and it works in, like, the non-realism, realm.
Like, I don't think I could go back and be like, oh, let's watch Nosferatu.
The original, no, it's perfect. But...
Like, look, dude, unless he's in SpongeBob, I don't give a damn about Nosferatu.
Nosferatu! I love that. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, we did.
We did this movie way too much justice.
Yeah, we talked way more about it than it really needed to be talked about.
We talked about it way more than we talked about.
I'm not gonna say don't watch it, but like, here's several.
If you like action movies and you're able to turn your brain off from like logic and realism, this is perfect. If you're a John Wick super fan, I don't know, this is the movie for you because there's not a lot of killing. Yeah, but
I would say if you just want a better mindless action,
if you like spy movies,
if you
obviously, it's James Bond.
If you like to put yourself into the shoes of the main character and you want to feel like a badass and you don't care about others' feelings, then
especially women,
you'll like James Bond. But if you just want to watch a cool action movie with like a cool guy, the Transporter series, Jason Bourne,
even that new movie that the director of John Wick just came out with, the train. What was the movie where they're on the train in Japan?
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, yeah.
I need to watch that. Yeah, there's better action movies. I don't really know if I would even straight up call this just Nobody's
Bob
great.
Odenkirk.
I don't know if I would just call this a straight up action movie even. It's just kind of like a spy thriller sort of deal.
Which, I mean, again, James Bond, so not much to really...
Yeah, fuck that movie, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is the lowest rated movie now on F&F, so...
Making strides here.
Yeah. Really, we're burying the James Bond series. But This has been Finding New Films. This week we found Casino Royale quite hastily, and next week, barring David's health, it's supposed to be La Haine, the French crime drama, which I've already seen and can say is very good, and I'm interested to talk about it because there's some cool parts of the movie and some cool themes. I really enjoyed the movie, honestly.
If I have to come back again, though, we're watching Cars 2.
I've seen Cars 2.
Cars 3?
Yes.
Planes?
No.
Planes. We're watching Planes.
We're watching Planes. Pixar's Planes. That would be hilarious. I would love that. No, next time we have to watch the next 007 movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every time we come on for an emergency podcast, we have to watch 007.
I'm gonna fucking kill David if he doesn't show up.
You'd be killing more people than James Bond.
That's goddamn right.
Yeah, but anyway, I already said the Finding New Films thing.
Yeah,
so I'm good.
We're signing off.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you to the Incredible Hulk. Thank you to Spider-Man. Thank you to Treyvor for coming out here on last second notice. And thanks to me, because I did all... No, I'm joking.
I mean, you could have set up faster.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Alrighty. Goodbye, everybody.